We now have an FAA report that a military helicopter and a regional jet have collided near Reagan National Airport, and it looks to appear that that crash took place over the Potomac. We go back to our own Chad Pergram is on the phone. He's on the scene. Chad, what do you have?
Yeah, we've been told that all of the all the water rescue boats from anywhere in the area have been dispatched to this area, and they're trying to figure out a potential casualty point at this stage. You know, where to collect. God forbid if there are in fact bodies in the water and things like that. But that's been the number one key here. Again, it's amazing where I'm standing, because we're not that far from the airport, and when you would fly in, you would go right past this point. This is south of the airport. South of the runway. It seems like everything is a little bit more on the other side of the river, on the Maryland side of the river or the D.C. side of the river here. I'm on the Virginia side right now, but they've also gotten as many helicopter rescue helicopters from local police departments and rescue units as from the entire region into the air as possible. But they're really still trying to piece this together. And the fact that this is at night, it doesn't make it any easier, and that's where Mark Meredith was talking about. We see these helicopters going overhead with these big searchlights, scanning over and over again. They've come over us 2 or 3 times in the short period of time I've been here, Sean.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable. But, the fact that if we're talking about a regional jet, that usually means a smaller jet with not as many people on board. At least, the fewer amount of people, obviously, on that plane would be better rather than a big jumbo jet. And but we are, the confirmation is what the confirmation is. I'm sure you have seen what I have seen. These videos are all over, and we have to confirm it here at the Fox News channel before we show it. Preliminary reports also indicate that it might have been out of Wichita, Kansas, and a military helicopter and a collision over the Potomac. Do you see any other action specifically in the water? You mentioned earlier that, we can see all the emergency vehicles on the street side, but we also see all of these emergency vehicles in the water.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been looking for here so far, and we really haven't seen that. Everybody's either on the edge of the runway, either over on the D.C. side of the river. They're on terra firma. And in just the past couple of minutes since I've been on the air here, we have a statement from Don Beyer. He is the Democratic representative from Northern Virginia. He represents this area of Arlington and Alexandria just across from Washington, D.C. Beyer says, I am following the response to a reported aviation incident at DCA, that's the code for Reagan National Airport, and am in touch with airport officials as we try to learn what happened and why. This is obviously very worrying, but I urge the community to please let the first responders do their jobs and save lives. That is the statement from the Democratic representative from Northern Virginia, Don Beyer, who lives not far from here, in fact, in Northern Virginia, in Alexandria. And, this is just a hop, skip, and a jump across the river. But nothing in the water from this vantage point, although, what's interesting, Sean, I wonder if there's a craft in the water that we can't see, because there's just been a little bit of, you can see a wave coming in. Go ahead, Sean.
We have the official FAA statement. American Airlines Flight 5342 collided with a Sikorsky H-60 helicopter while on approach to the runway at Reagan. That is consistent with the video that I saw online that has been making its rounds online. It is heartbreaking. And that would be a regional jet and a military helicopter.
And that's consistent with what with Senator Marshall from Kansas had put out as well, yes, that it was from Kansas.
All right, Chad. We appreciate it. Our thoughts and prayers are with any of the victims in all of this. Please stay with the Fox News channel for continuing coverage.